Bridging Ancient Wisdom and Modern Understanding. Overview of cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, physiological functions, and esoteric significance. Ancient traditions often perceived the human body as a microcosm of the universe, where internal processes were believed to mirror cosmic laws. This perspective forms the fundamental basis for understanding how physical fluids, energetic centers, and celestial rhythms can collectively influence consciousness and facilitate healing. This integrative view suggests that health is not merely the absence of disease, but a harmonious alignment across physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual dimensions. This report delves into the profound interconnections between the physiological aspects of cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, its esoteric interpretations as sacred secretion, and its parallels with the Hindu concept of prana. It further explores the nature of the mental matrix and its role in healing mental, emotional, and physical traumas, including concussions. Additionally, the report examines the therapeutic potential of psychedelics in cerebral healing, the significance of the chakra system and meditation practices, and the influence of lunar and astrological cycles, particularly the 13 new moons and the 13 sun sign system, on human consciousness and well-being. The aim is to synthesize scientific understanding with ancient spiritual traditions, offering a comprehensive framework for holistic well-being that acknowledges the intricate relationship between the human body, mind, and the cosmos. Part 1. Cerebrospinal fluid, the sacred secretion and its energetic significance. The physiological role of CSF. Cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, is a clear, colorless liquid that plays a vital role in the health and functioning of the central nervous system, the CNS. Physiologically, CSF acts as a crucial protective and homeostatic agent, cushioning the delicate brain and spinal cord from impact and injury. It provides buoyancy, effectively reducing the brain's weight from approximately 1,500 grams to about 25 grams, thereby preventing it from pressing against the bony cranium. Beyond mechanical support, CSF is instrumental in maintaining biochemical stability within the CNS, transporting essential nutrients such as glucose, proteins, lipids, and electrolytes, and effectively removing metabolic waste products into the venous and lymphatic circulation. CSF is primarily produced by the choroid plexus, a network of capillaries located within the brain's ventricles, though other minor sources also contribute. It circulates through the interconnected ventricular system of the brain and the subarachnoid space surrounding both the brain and spinal cord. An adult typically produces between 400 to 600 milliliters of CSF per day, with approximately 150 milliliters present at any given time, ensuring that the entire volume is renewed 4 to 5 times within a 24-hour period. This constant turnover is essential for brain homeostasis and plays a critical role in preventing the accumulation of metabolites and toxins that could impair neurological function. The continuous production and reabsorption of CSF into the venous circulation, primarily through arachnoid granulations, drives this vital cleansing process. The consistent physiological descriptions of CSF highlights its fundamental importance as the brain's internal river of life. This fluid's functions extend beyond mere physical cushioning to encompass vital processes like nutrient delivery and waste removal, which are indispensable for neurological health. Dr. Andrew Still, a pioneer in osteopathic medicine, emphasized the critical nature of CSF, referring to it as one of the highest known elements that are contained in the body, and a great river of life that must be tapped to ensure health. This perspective elevates CSF from a simple biological fluid to a central, life sustaining, and healing medium. The implication of this understanding is that any disruption to the abundant production or free flow of CSF could profoundly impact overall well being, extending beyond immediate neurological symptoms to affect systemic health. From an esoteric perspective, CSF transcends its purely biological functions to hold profound spiritual significance. It is often interpreted as a sacred oil or divine nectar, believed to carry energetic and healing properties throughout the spinal column and brain. Ancient traditions propose that this mysterious fluid acts as a fluid conductor of source energy and a divine spark, enabling a deeper awareness of beingness. Noteworthy figures such as Randolph Stone, founder of polarity theory, asserted that the soul swims in the cerebrospinal fluid, while Dr. Andrew Still, founder of the American School of Osteopathy, viewed CSF as an intermediary in the movement of divine intelligence. The esoteric sacred secretion and its components. The sacred secretion is an esoteric concept that describes a natural, spiritual mechanism of rejuvenation within the human body. It is also referred to by various names such as Christos, Christ oil, endogenous DMT, and the honey and milk. This concept finds its roots in ancient Gnostic texts, alchemical traditions, and various spiritual allegories. Central to the understanding of the sacred secretion is the milk and honey metaphor, which is linked to the body's endogenous production of specific neurochemicals. Serotonin is often described as the milk, associated with feelings of happiness, contentment, and emotional balance. Melatonin, synthesized from serotonin, is referred to as the honey, promoting restorative processes, stillness, clarity, and deeper insight, particularly during states of deep meditation or prayer. Dimethyltryptamine, DMT, often dubbed the spirit molecule, is also associated with this secretion, representing ultimate illumination or an inner light that bridges physical and spiritual awareness, potentially released during heightened states of consciousness. These neurochemicals are believed to be released by the pineal gland, a small endocrine gland deep within the brain, which is often referred to as the third eye in spiritual contexts and linked to higher states of consciousness. The sacred secretion is understood as a psychedelic spiritual alchemy, a transformative process occurring within the human body. This interpretation arises from the description of the sacred secretion as a psychedelic concoction released by the brain, containing key neurochemicals like DMT, serotonin, and melatonin. The term alchemy itself is frequently used to describe this internal process, implying a transformation of substances and an increase in their vibrational potency. This suggests a sophisticated interplay where physiological processes are interpreted through a spiritual lens, leading to heightened awareness, rejuvenation, and profound inner experiences. A critical aspect of this esoteric framework is the role of the spine as a conduit for divine intelligence and Kundalini energy. The spine is often referred to as the axis mundi, or ladder of the divine, in various spiritual traditions, symbolizing a pathway for spiritual ascent. CSF, which bathes the central nervous system, the CNS, travels down the hollow central canal of the spinal cord to the sacrum, a region where Kundalini energy is said to reside. The sacred secretion is described as descending the 33 vertebrae of the spine before ascending back up to the pineal gland, the metaphorical place where God can be met face to face. Dr. Andrew Still viewed CSF as an intermediary in the movement of divine intelligence. This perspective establishes a profound relationship where the spinal column is not merely a physical structure, but a vital energetic pathway. The movement of CSF through this pathway is believed to physically transport and activate spiritual energies, such as Kundalini, and sacred chemicals like DMT and serotonin, from the lower energetic centers to the brain. This process is thought to induce superconscious states, bliss, and an orgasm of the brain, indicating the spine's active participation in spiritual awakening. Lunar rhythms and the sacred secretion. The activation of the sacred secretion is intimately linked to lunar rhythms, particularly the monthly cycle. Esoteric teachings suggest that lunar energy empowers the individual's birth star sign energy during the specific monthly phases, which, in turn, prompts the brain to release this unique brew of chemicals. Shifts in the magnetic lunar energies are explicitly connected to the endogenous production of this essence, suggesting a direct and cyclical influence of celestial mechanics on human neurochemistry and consciousness. The alignment with lunar cycles functions as a biospiritual trigger for these internal processes. The process specifically highlights activation upon and by the 13 new moons. Lunar energy is believed to empower the star sign energy, leading to the brain's chemical release. The 13 new moons are thus not merely arbitrary points in time, but are considered specific energetic windows for this activation. This implies a precise, cyclical, biospiritual mechanism where celestial phenomena are believed to directly trigger specific physiological and energetic responses within the human body. The 13 new moons, a concept found in various traditions, including the Anishinaabe calendar and Hindu Pradosham, represent distinct energetic opportunities for spiritual practices and the dissolution of negative karmic patterns. This presents a structured timing for the engagement of celestial forces with internal alchemical processes. Part 2: Prana, Chakras, and the Mental Matrix. Pathways to Inner Harmony. Prana, the universal life force. Prana is a fundamental concept in Hindu traditions, representing the universal life force or vital energy that animates all living beings. This energy is not uniformly distributed, but flows through specific channels and is disseminated throughout the body from various energetic centers known as chakras. For instance, the Muladhara root chakra is associated with Apana Prana, responsible for detoxification and elimination. The Svadhisthana sacral chakra distributes pranic energy to the genitourinary system, while the Manipura solar plexus chakra supplies prana to the digestive system. The Anahata heart chakra governs the respiratory and cardiovascular systems, and the Vishuddha throat chakra facilitates energy distribution to the ears, eyes, nose, and throat. The Ajna, third eye chakra, is understood to feed the brain with vital energy. The practice of pranayama, or conscious breathing exercises, plays a crucial role in influencing the flow and quality of prana, and by extension, its connection to cerebrospinal fluid for brain health. Through pranayama, a higher voltage of prana can be consciously generated, particularly in the lower regions of the body, and then directed upwards towards the brain's higher centers. This upward movement is often facilitated by specific bandhas, body locks, such as Jalandhara bandha, Uddiyana bandha, and Mula bandha, which create a subtle internal pressure acting as an ejecting force to push pranic energy through the spinal cord. This process significantly influences CSF circulation. Deep, rhythmic breathing, a core component of pranayama, creates subtle pressure changes within the spinal column that actively help to pump CSF upwards towards the brain. Beyond mechanical effects, pranayama techniques are also observed to shift brainwave patterns from stress response beta activity to more relaxed alpha or even high frequency gamma patterns, which are associated with higher brain functioning and altered states of consciousness. The synergy between prana and CSF is vital for brain detoxification and the attainment of higher consciousness. The consistent emphasis in various traditions on the upward movement of energy and fluid along the spine suggests a profound interplay. Pranayama techniques are understood to enhance prana, and this enhanced prana, through physiological mechanisms like diaphragmatic pumping, like the kind I have taught you with the hand mudra, and other subtle pressure changes, directly improve CSF circulation. Improved CSF flow, in turn, contributes to better brain detoxification by facilitating the clearance of toxins from the brain's lymphatic vessels, which are otherwise linked to cognitive decline and altered mood. This establishes a causal relationship where energetic practices lead to physiological benefits, which then support the release of emotional trauma and the activation of higher brain functions and consciousness. The brain's lymphatic system, which carries CSF to detoxify tissues, is directly linked to the emotional cortex, providing a physiological basis for how breathwork can release old emotional trauma. The chakra system, energy centers of consciousness. The chakra system, rooted in ancient Hindu Tantrism and Tibetan Buddhism, describes 7 primary energy centers distributed along the central axis of the human body, derived from the Sanskrit word meaning wheel or circle of life. These chakras are dynamic vortexes of energy believed to influence various nerve systems, organs, and glands, thereby impacting an individual's physical, emotional, and spiritual well being. Central to the understanding of chakras is the concept of Kundalini Shakti. This powerful, dormant energy is often depicted as a coiled serpent resting at the base of the spine, specifically at the Muladhara root chakra. The spiritual objective in many yogic traditions is to awaken this Kundalini energy and guide its ascent through each successive chakra, ultimately leading to profound spiritual experiences, heightened awareness, and a merger with infinite consciousness. Each chakra in this intricate system is thought to function as a switch that, when activated, can indirectly stimulate specific, corresponding areas within the human body. The concept of enlightenment in yogic traditions. Enlightenment, within the yogic framework, represents the pinnacle of spiritual development. It is a state characterized by self realization, a profound unity with cosmic consciousness, and ultimate liberation from the cycles of karma and rebirth, moksha. This transcendent state involves the dissolution of the ego, leading to boundless peace, wisdom, and clarity, and a deep understanding of one's true purpose and interconnectedness with the universe. The interconnectedness, CSF, chakras, and the path to higher consciousness. The profound relationship between cerebrospinal fluid and the chakra system suggests a profound, sophisticated psychophysiological model for spiritual advancement. The physical processes involving CSF appear to be integral to the energetic and conscious shifts experienced during spiritual practices. The continuous and rapid turnover of CSF, occurring 4 to 5 times every 24 hours, ensures that the brain and spinal cord are constantly bathed in fresh, clean fluid. This efficient system for waste removal and nutrient delivery optimizes neuronal function, creating a pristine internal environment. From an esoteric viewpoint, a physically clean and nourished central nervous system becomes more receptive to subtle energies and higher vibrations, thus serving as a more effective conduit for spiritual experiences. The observation that reduced CSF turnover contributes to the accumulation of metabolites in aging and neurodegenerative diseases parallels the idea that stagnation at a physiological level can reflect a lack of clarity or a blockage at a spiritual level. This continuous physiological cleansing process can be seen as analogous to spiritual purification, preparing the entire system for the profound experiences associated with enlightenment. Research explicitly highlights the stimulation of CSF during Kundalini awakening and its role in activating brain areas linked to higher consciousness. This indicates that CSF is not merely a biological fluid, but a crucial medium for spiritual transformation. Physical practices designed to influence CSF flow, such as specific breathwork techniques and spinal movements, appear to be direct pathways to influencing consciousness. This connection bridges the often separated physical and spiritual realms, proposing a tangible mechanism for their interaction in the context of enlightenment. Esoteric interpretations: CSF as Amrita, or divine nectar, and a conductor of source energy. In various spiritual and yogic traditions, cerebrospinal fluid is imbued with profound esoteric meaning, often referred to as Amrita, the divine nectar of immortality. This sacred fluid is believed to descend from the Sahasrara crown chakra, nourishing the brain and activating higher states of consciousness. It is also conceptualized as a sacred oil that carries energetic or healing properties throughout the spinal column. Some theories propose that CSF functions as a fluid conductor of source energy and embodies the divine spark that enables an individual's awareness of their own beingness, tracing its evolutionary origins back to the ancestral seawater. This perspective highlights a deep, intrinsic connection between the physical body and universal consciousness. As previously mentioned, spiritual thinkers like Randolph Stone and Dr. Andrew Still emphasize CSF's role as a medium for divine intelligence, with Stone famously stating, "The soul swims in the cerebrospinal fluid." The pineal gland, hypothalamus, and CSF, a neurospiritual nexus. The pineal gland, a small endocrine gland nestled deep within the brain, is frequently referred to as the third eye in spiritual contexts and is strongly associated with higher states of consciousness and spiritual experiences. This gland is responsible for secreting melatonin, a hormone crucial for regulating circadian rhythms, including sleep-wake cycles. The third ventricle, a central midline space in the brain, is filled with CSF and is strategically surrounded by key brain structures, including the pineal gland, pituitary gland, hypothalamus, and thalamus. This region is revered in various traditions, known as the Crystal Palace by Taoists and the Cave of Brahma in Sanskrit texts. The movement of CSF is believed to directly stimulate the pineal gland and hypothalamus. The convergence of CSF, the pineal gland, and the third eye points to a specific anatomical locus where physiological processes and transcendent spiritual experiences may interface. The pineal gland's deep location and its role in melatonin production, which influences sleep and altered states of consciousness, establish a direct link to non ordinary awareness. When CSF, understood as a fluid conductor of spiritual energy, bathes this gland, it suggests a direct, energetic, and biochemical interaction. The ancient, metaphorical designation of the third ventricle as the Crystal Palace further solidifies this region as a central point for spiritual phenomena. This indicates that the pineal gland, nourished and activated by CSF, may function as a crucial receiver and transmitter for spiritual information and experiences, making its health and activation paramount for the journey toward enlightenment. CSF's role in Kundalini awakening and inducing shifts in consciousness. Kundalini Shakti awakening is described as a total psychophysiological event profoundly centered around the spinal cord, with the stimulation of cerebrospinal fluid playing a crucial role in inducing shifts in consciousness. Specific yogic practices are believed to directly influence this process. Breath control techniques, such as pranayama and kumbhaka, breath retention, along with the application of body locks, bandhas, are thought to accelerate the movement of CSF up the spinal column and into the brain. This upward movement of CSF creates a mechanical pressure against the pineal gland, which in turn stimulates specialized cilia within the third ventricle. This stimulation is believed to trigger the release of various neurochemicals, often referred to as sacred chemicals, including serotonin, melatonin, and potentially dimethyltryptamine, DMT. The release of these substances is thought to open the thalamic gate at the brainstem, connected to the reticular activating system, the RAS, which governs levels of awareness. When sensory input is intentionally limited and the sympathetic nervous system and pineal gland are aroused, energy from the lower chakras is believed to move into the brain, leading to superconscious states of gamma brainwave patterns, which are subjectively described as feelings of bliss, ecstasy, or an orgasm of the brain, a release of Kundalini energy. The milk and honey metaphor, often found in spiritual texts to describe states of abundance and divine provisions, offers a biochemical framework for the blissful and transcendent states reported during Kundalini awakening. Serotonin, associated with well being and emotional balance, is likened to milk, nourishing mood regulation and stability. Melatonin, produced by the pineal gland and crucial for sleep and deep rest, is seen as the honey, bringing sweetness, restorative processes, and deeper insight. The potent psychoactive compound DMT, sometimes referred to as the spirit molecule, is hypothesized to facilitate transcendent experiences and is considered the ultimate illumination. This metaphorical framework suggests a tangible link between inner alchemy and spiritual experience, indicating that spiritual practices can induce profound changes in consciousness through specific neurochemical pathways. The mental matrix, consciousness, and healing. What I call the mental matrix is a concept that refers to the fundamental framework of compartmentalized systems, or more broadly, the entire holographic matrix to which human perception is attached. From a spiritual perspective, it is an organic expression of consciousness emanating from the mind, which, if unexamined, can act as a mental prison of spiritual amnesia. Healing, in this context, involves awakening from this perceived mental prison and consciously aligning with the higher self to reclaim one's innate power as a mental creator. The mechanisms of healing, emotional, and physical traumas through conscious engagement with the mind are multifaceted. Healing the mind encompasses addressing conditions such as stress, insomnia, anxiety, and depression. Traditional practices, including meditation and yoga, aim to purify consciousness and restore individuals to their true luminous nature. Emotional and energetic traumas are understood to create repetitive cycles and patterns within this mental matrix, and liberation from these cycles is believed to unlock an individual's true potential. Conscious alignment with a unified field or a planetary unity grid, like the Adonisian zodiac and its integrated chakra and joint system of the human body, can facilitate access to subtle energy realms, thereby empowering healing processes and enabling conscious manifestation of intentions. By shifting one's internal state, the experience of external reality can also transform. Neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable capacity for structural and functional change, provides the perfect scientific parallel to these esoteric concepts of mental and cerebral healing. The brain's ability to recover and adapt is significantly influenced by stress levels, and various relaxation techniques are known to enhance neuroplasticity, thereby accelerating recovery from injury or trauma. Meditation and mindfulness practices are widely recognized for their benefits in improving stress coping mechanisms, reducing anxiety and depression, and aiding memory recall. Holistic approaches to concussion recovery, for instance, emphasize supporting brain healing through a combination of proper nutrition, gentle movement, effective stress management, and restorative sleep. These practices collectively contribute to the brain's inherent capacity for self repair and adaptation. The journey of consciousness extends far beyond the physical cessation of life, transitioning into a vibrant, multi-dimensional landscape known commonly as the astral realm. This energetic plane is not merely a static destination, but a dynamic construct, intricately shaped by the thoughts, emotions, and experiences cultivated during our earthly existence. The awakened third eye chakra, the energetic center of intuition and perception, serves as a vital gateway, enabling individuals to consciously project their awareness into this subtle dimension even while still embodied. Through such astral projection, one can begin to familiarize themselves with the fabric of this post-mortem reality, laying the groundwork for a smoother transition. Furthermore, a profound spiritual practice involves meditating upon the planetary rulers associated with each of the seven primary chakras. Each chakra resonates with specific planetary influences, governing various aspects of our being. By consciously engaging with these planetary energies through focused meditation, practitioners not only balance and activate their chakras, but also establish energetic pathways that transcend the conventional cycle of death and rebirth, known in many traditions as moksha or reincarnation. This deliberate cultivation of inner awareness, deeply abiding personal relationships with the planet chakra rulers, and energetic alignment offers a profound liberation with the potential to escape from what esoteric philosophies describe as a soul recycling plant, the earth plane, where consciousness repeatedly incarnates to learn and evolve. While the ultimate outcomes can vary, ranging from achieving complete liberation from the cycle of rebirth to even the possibility of resurrection in a higher form, the fundamental promise lies in empowering the individual soul's consciousness to navigate and ultimately transcend the limitations of the physical dimension, choosing its own path beyond the conventional bounds of earthly existence. Fundamentally, the mental Adonesian matrix can be understood as a programmable interface for healing. The emphasis on healing the mind, including from emotional and physical injuries or traumas, and reversing concussions, points to a dynamic system that can be consciously influenced. the power of transforming our mental matrix into the organic expression of consciousness suggests that this matrix is not merely a passive recipient of trauma, but an active system capable of being reprogrammed or reconfigured. The scientific understanding of neuroplasticity, which describes the brain's ability to rewire itself, aligns conceptually with this esoteric idea of transforming mental patterns. This implies that mental and emotional healing, including recovery from physical brain injuries like concussions, involves actively engaging with and transforming one's internal perceptual framework rather than solely focusing on symptomatic relief. Part 3: Advanced Modalities for Transformation and Healing. Psychedelics, catalysts for mental and cerebral healing. Psychedelics are compounds characterized by their capacity to provide greater access to the psyche and induce significant alterations in perception, mood, cognition, and behavior. Their primary mechanism of action involves often interaction with serotonin 2A receptors in the brain. Compounds such as lysergic acid diethylmide, LSD, psilocybin, found in magic mushrooms, and methylene dioxymethamphetamine, MDMA, are currently under investigation for their therapeutic potential in various central nervous system CNS indications. The therapeutic potential of psychedelics for mental health conditions and cognitive restructuring is a rapidly evolving field. Research is exploring their efficacy in treating conditions like post traumatic stress disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, major depressive disorder, anxiety, and substance use disorders. These substances can induce radical changes in how different brain regions communicate, potentially leading to a rewiring of neural circuits that govern behavior. This neurobiological reorganization may facilitate new psychological insights and allow for the resetting of rigid thought patterns, with some proponents, myself included, even claiming the ability to physically restructure the brain. From an esoteric perspective, psychedelics are often regarded as sacred medicines in indigenous contexts, utilized for a range of healing purposes, including spiritual, psychological, and physical well being, and to induce profound supernatural or mystical experiences. They are believed to facilitate the exploration of spirituality, deepen meditative states, and amplify states of consciousness through rich visionary experiences. Research suggests advanced meditation or breathwork practices might induce small endogenous releases of compounds like DMT, leading to similar profound states of consciousness. Psychedelics can serve as accelerated pathways to esoteric states, though with important caveats. Psychedelics contribute to mental and cerebral healing from both a modern therapeutic standpoint by impacting brain function and enabling cognitive restructuring, and from an esoteric perspective as sacred medicines that facilitate spiritual exploration and altered states of consciousness. The sacred secretion itself is sometimes likened to DMT, suggesting a shared chemical basis for profound experiences. This suggests that while psychedelics may offer a chemical shortcut to states traditionally achieved through disciplined spiritual practices like Kundalini awakening, they are not without risks. Drug use, as I have experienced with a prior client who I had to cut off blatantly because they would not quit microdosing daily, can lead to spiritual alienation, and therefore I had to cut them off blatantly. And that can result in negative outcomes, such as schizophrenia, particularly if not integrated properly or if underlying energetic blockages exist in the chakras. This indicates that while psychedelics can act as powerful catalysts for transformation, their use necessitates careful preparation, like doing them at home on a Sunday evening, separated from your family in another room all alone throughout the entire experience, but still able to hear them so you can hear the bliss in their voices and present in your home. Perhaps? Because if you cannot open yourself to the bliss and healing in the same space your family shares with you, then are you even in the right place to call home? Careful integration of psychedelics, like waiting 4 to 6 months before doing them again between experiences, and a foundational understanding of one's energetic system to mitigate potential adverse effects, like believing one is the Messiah, can all ensure genuine healing and growth through psychedelics. Part 4: The Unmet Challenge of Chronic Traumatic Encephalopathy, CTE. Overview of CTE: Definition, etiology, and clinical manifestations. Chronic Traumatic Encephalopathy, CTE, represents a distinct neurodegenerative disease, primarily arising from a history of repetitive traumatic brain injury, TBI, encompassing both concussive and subconcussive head impacts. This condition is particularly prevalent among individuals engaged in contact sports such as football, boxing, and soccer, as well as military personnel exposed to repetitive blast injuries. The clinical presentation of CTE typically begins with nonspecific cognitive and neuropsychiatric impairments. Early symptoms often include depression and heightened aggression, which can progressively worsen to encompass a broader range of motor impairments and significant cognitive decline. Current diagnostic limitations and therapeutic void. A significant hurdle in managing CTE is the current inability to definitively diagnose the condition during life. Presently, CTE can only be confirmed post mortem through a neuropathological examination, which involves identifying unique phosphorylated tau, p-tau, inclusions in specific brain regions. This diagnostic limitation severely impedes early intervention and the development of targeted treatments. This persistent challenge in directly halting or reversing the core pathology of CTE through pharmacological means underscores the urgent need for a broader therapeutic perspective. The imperative for novel approaches focus on neurogenesis and neuroplasticity. Given the absence of disease-modifying pharmacological treatments for tauopathies, including CTE, there is a compelling need to explore complementary and alternative strategies. This situation highlights that non-pharmacological interventions, which can modulate systemic factors such as inflammation and stress, and promote the brain's inherent repair mechanisms, are not merely supplementary, but become essential non pharmacological components of a comprehensive management strategy. Such approaches may not offer a cure in traditional sense, but they hold significant potential to impact system progression, enhance quality of life, and foster overall brain resilience, where direct pathological reversal remains elusive. The brain's intrinsic capacity for neuroplasticity and neurogenesis offers a promising avenue for intervention, aiming to enhance brain resilience, facilitate repair processes, and improve functional outcomes. Part 5: Neuropathology of CTE, a deep dive into tauopathy. The central role of tau protein, hyperphosphorylation, aggregation, and neurofibrillary tangles. CTE is fundamentally characterized as a unique tauopathy defined by the pathological accumulation of abnormally phosphorylated tau, p-tau protein. Under normal physiological conditions, tau protein plays a crucial role in maintaining neuronal structure and function, primarily by regulating microtubule stability and axonal transport. However, in pathological states, tau undergoes aberrant phosphorylation, causing it to detach from microtubules and aggregate into neurotoxic fibrillary tangles. These aggregates disrupt normal neuronal function, ultimately leading to progressive cognitive and motor deficits. Distinction of CTE as a unique tauopathy. While Alzheimer's disease is the most prevalent form of tauopathy, CTE is classified as a secondary tauopathy. In secondary tauopathies, tau inclusions are present, but tau may not be the primary or unique pathological feature driving the disease. Thus, the heterogeneity observed among various tauopathies underscores the importance of understanding the specific mechanisms that drive tau phosphorylation in the context of CTE, as these may differ from other tau-related disorders. Part 6: The brain's capacity for renewal, neurogenesis, and neuroplasticity. Defining neurogenesis and neuroplasticity in the adult brain. The brain possesses a remarkable capacity for adaptation and change, a phenomenon known as neuroplasticity. This refers to the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout an individual's life. A specific and prominent form of this plasticity in the adult brain is neurogenesis, particularly adult hippocampal neurogenesis, or AN, HAN. AN involves the birth and integration of new neurons, primarily within the hippocampus, a brain region crucial for learning and memory. Importance of adult hippocampal neurogenesis, AN, for cognitive function and memory. AN is critically linked to various aspects of memory formation and cognitive function. Research indicates that new neurons generated in the hippocampus exhibit greater plasticity during their immature stages compared to mature neurons, contributing significantly to cognitive processes. Specifically, AN is associated with spatial memory, emotional memory, pattern recognition, cognitive flexibility, and emotional regulation. Abnormal neurogenesis has been observed in a range of central nervous system diseases and neurodegenerative disorders, including cerebrovascular diseases, and is closely associated with cognitive impairment in these conditions. This suggests that while the initial triggers of different neurodegenerative diseases, such as TBI for CTE or amyloid plaques for Alzheimer's disease, may vary, they might converge on a common downstream mechanism of cognitive impairment, the disruption of adult hippocampal neurogenesis. This understanding implies that interventions effectively promoting on could have broad therapeutic potential across various neurodegenerative conditions, including CTE and Alzheimer's, even if they do not directly target the primary pathology like tau aggregates. This provides a strong rationale for their inclusion in a CTE management strategy focused on functional improvement and resilience. Mechanisms by which neuroplasticity and neurogenesis can be enhanced. Targeting and regulating on has shown promise in alleviating cognitive deficits. The brain's capacity for neuroplasticity and neurogenesis can be enhanced through several key pathways. Release of neurotrophic factors. Engaging in consistent physical activity, for instance, leads to a rise in brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a vital element for the development and endurance of neurons. Myokines, proteins released by muscles during resistance training, also have neuroprotective benefits, improving synaptic plasticity and facilitating the growth of new neurons. Modulation of neuroinflammation. Various interventions can help modulate neuroinflammation, a factor known to disrupt normal on. Reduction of oxidative stress. Strategies that reduce oxidative stress contribute to a healthier brain environment conducive to neuroplasticity. Enhancement of synaptic connectivity. Promoting the formation and strengthening of synaptic connections, like through physical activity, is crucial for overall brain function and release. Physical therapies have proven effective in enhancing on. These include regular exercise, transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation, and exposure to enriched environments. Furthermore, dietary interventions such as energy intake restriction and nutrient optimization have demonstrated efficacy in both basic research and clinical trials for promoting on. These approaches focus on alleviating neuroinflammation, regulating neurogenesis, and enhancing synaptic plasticity, all of which can lead to significant improvements in cognitive function. Specific types of physical activity offer distinct benefits. Aerobic exercise has been shown to increase hippocampal volume by 1 to 2% and improve executive function scores by 5 to 10% in older adults. Resistance training can enhance cognitive control and memory performance by 12 to 18% in elderly individuals. Mind-body exercises, such as yoga and Tai Chi, improve gray matter density in memory-related brain regions by 3 to 5% and enhance emotional regulation scores by 15 to 20%. Dual task training has been demonstrated to improve attention and processing speed by 18 to 14% in individuals with neurodegenerative disorders. These interventions, by optimizing the cellular environment, i.e., reducing inflammation, improving energy, promoting new neuron growth, may slow the progression of tau pathology, enhance neuronal resilience, and improve functional outcomes, even in the presence of existing damage. This shifts the focus from a single target drug to a holistic, systemic approach to brain health, empowering individuals with actionable strategies. Part 7: Mind Body Interventions, Meditation, Neuroplasticity, and Potential Impact on CTE. Meditation and Neuroplasticity. While direct studies specifically examining meditation's impact on CTE are not extensively detailed, strong inferential links can be drawn from research on mind body exercises and their effects on neuroplasticity. Meditation falls within this category of practices. Evidence indicates that mind body exercises, such as yoga and Tai Chi, including meditation, significantly influence neuroplasticity. The mechanisms underlying these benefits include the induction of a calm state and a reduction in the presence of stress hormones like cortisol. Elevated cortisol levels, when sustained over prolonged periods, are known to be detrimental to brain function. By reducing chronic stress and modulating neuroinflammation, these practices indirectly foster an environment conducive to neuroplasticity and, potentially, neurogenesis. Deep states of meditation and silence. The concept of deep states of meditation can be extrapolated from the observed effects of general mind-body practices. Profound relaxation and reduced sensory input, often characteristic of deep meditative states and periods of silence, are known to amplify the beneficial effects seen with more active mind-body exercises. When external stimuli are minimized in silence, a decrease in physiological arousal occurs, which can lower stress hormone levels even further than active mind-body practices. This state may promote brain rest and facilitate restorative processes. By minimizing chronic stress and its associated neuroinflammatory and oxidative stress pathways, which are implicated in tau phosphorylation in CTE, deep meditation and silence could theoretically contribute to a more resilient brain environment. This resilience could potentially slow neurodegeneration and support endogenous repair mechanisms. Meditation and CTE, bridging the gap. Although direct evidence linking meditation specifically to the reversal of tau pathology in CTE is not provided, a compelling theoretical bridge can be established based on shared underlying mechanisms. Though active rehabilitation, which includes mind-body exercises and meditation, has already demonstrated positive effects on motor, vestibular, and cognitive impairments in patients with tau pathologies. Meditation's ability to induce calm and reduce stress hormones, such as cortisol, directly impacts neuroinflammation. Since neuroinflammation is a key driver of tau phosphorylation and aggregation in CTE, a chronic reduction of inflammatory states through meditation could theoretically slow disease progression. Meditation contributes to overall well-being, which can reduce systemic oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is another critical factor in tau pathology. By reducing chronic stress and modulating neuroinflammation, meditation directly addresses two of the key cellular pathways identified as driving tau phosphorylation and neurodegeneration in CTE. This establishes a plausible, indirect mechanism by which meditation could mitigate CTE progression, not only by directly reversing tau, but by reducing the conditions that exacerbate tau pathology. This positions meditation not just as a symptom management tool, but as a potentially proactive intervention for individuals at risk of CTE or those in early stages by fostering a less hospitable environment for pathological tau. It also suggests a strong complementary role alongside any future direct tau targeting therapies. Furthermore, meditation's observed effects on gray matter density and emotional regulation, coupled with its stress reducing properties, create a brain environment more conducive to neuroplasticity and potentially neurogenesis. This could help compensate for neuronal loss and improve cognitive function, even if the underlying tau pathology persists. As mentioned earlier, active rehabilitation, which includes mind body practices and meditation, has already demonstrated positive effects on motor, vestibular, and cognitive impairments in patients with tau pathologies. This supports the integration of mind body practices like meditation for CTE symptom management and overall brain health. Potential role of supplements. Considering the identified pathological mechanisms of CTE, which include neuroinflammation, oxidative stress, excitotoxicity, and mitochondrial dysfunction, certain categories of supplements could theoretically play a supportive role. For instance, supplements with anti inflammatory properties might help modulate the neuroinflammation implicated in tau phosphorylation. Here are 7 vitamins and supplements that could theoretically support the brain given the pathological mechanisms of CTE: neuroinflammation, oxidative stress, excitotoxicity, and mitochondrial dysfunction, along with their potential roles. 1. Omega 3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA. Potential role: strong anti inflammatory properties that could help modulate neuroinflammation. They are also crucial for neuronal membrane integrity and function, potentially supporting overall brain health. The mechanism of focus is neuroinflammation. Second, curcumin. Potential role: it's derived from turmeric. Curcumin is a potent anti-inflammatory and antioxidant. It can cross the blood-brain barrier and has shown promise in reducing neuroinflammation and oxidative stress in various neurological models. Mechanism focus: neuroinflammation and oxidative stress. Thirdly, alpha-lipoic acid, ALAs. Potential role: a powerful antioxidant that is both water and fat soluble, allowing it to work throughout the body and brain. It helps regenerate other antioxidants like glutathione and vitamin C, and plays a role in mitochondrial function. Mechanism focus: oxidative stress and mitochondrial dysfunction. Fourth, coenzyme Q10, CoQ10. Potential role: essential for mitochondrial energy production and a powerful antioxidant. Supplementation could support mitochondrial function and reduce oxidative damage, both of which are compromised in CTE. Mechanism focus: mitochondrial dysfunction and oxidative stress. Fifth, magnesium L-threonate. Potential role: while other forms of magnesium are beneficial, magnesium L-threonate is specifically noted for its ability to cross the blood-brain barrier more effectively. It plays a role in regulating NMDA receptors, potentially helping to mitigate excitotoxicity, and is vital for numerous enzymatic reactions, including those involved in energy production. Mechanism focus: excitotoxicity and mitochondrial dysfunction. Sixth, N-acetylcysteine, NAC. Potential role: a precursor to glutathione, one of the body's most important endogenous antioxidants. NAC directly combats oxidative stress and has also shown anti inflammatory properties. Mechanism focus, oxidative stress, and neuroinflammation. Seventh, and lastly, resveratrol, potential role. A polyphenol found in red grapes and other plants. Resveratrol is known for its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. It has also been shown to influence mitochondrial function and activate pathways like sirtuins that are involved in cellular resilience and longevity, potentially offering neuroprotective effects. Mechanism focus, oxidative stress, neuroinflammation, and mitochondrial dysfunction. Important disclaimer. It is crucial to emphasize that this list is based on theoretical potential given the understanding of CTE's pathology. These supplements are not cures or treatments for CTE. Anyone considering using these or any other supplements should consult with a qualified healthcare professional, especially given the complex nature of neurological conditions and potential interactions with medications. Areas for future research. Personalized approaches. While the mechanistic plausibility for mind-body interventions in CTE is high, direct clinical evidence specifically linking meditation to the reversal of CTE or specific neurogenesis promotion in CTE is currently inferential. This highlights a critical need for rigorous future research, particularly in personalized approaches. Future research should explore how individual genetic predispositions, specific TBI history, and other lifestyle factors influence the efficacy of these interventions. This would enable the development of more personalized brain health plans tailored to individual needs and risk profiles. Ultimately, a comprehensive and integrated multimodal approach to overall brain health management is advocated. One that includes the Adenesian framework. Part 8. Integrating CSF and chakra activation for spiritual enlightenment. The synergistic relationship, how chakra balancing enhances CSF flow and vice versa. The intricate relationship between cerebrospinal fluid and the chakra system is deeply synergistic, suggesting that practices aimed at balancing chakras can directly influence CSF flow, which, in turn, facilitates higher states of consciousness. The anatomical fact that CSF circulates down to the second sacral spinal nerve, S2, precisely where the root chakra and Kundalini energy are said to reside, establishes a direct physical connection between this vital fluid and the energetic core of the body. Kundalini awakening is understood as a psychophysiological event centered around the spinal cord, and the stimulation of CSF is a crucial element in inducing the profound shifts in consciousness associated with it. Chakra balancing practices, particularly those involving breathwork and spinal movements, are not merely symbolic but provide a direct physiological mechanism for enhancing CSF flow. This then facilitates the release of consciousness altering neurochemicals and promotes the ascent of Kundalini. For example, yogic techniques like breath control, pranayama, kumbhaka, and body locks, bandhas, are believed to rapidly push CSF up the spine and into the brain. This direct physical manipulation of CSF flow optimizes the sacred fluid to reach and activate higher brain centers, such as the pineal gland and hypothalamus. This activation, in turn, leads to the release of sacred chemicals like serotonin, melatonin, and potentially DMT. This sequence illustrates a clear cause and effect relationship. Specific physical practices related to chakra activation lead to enhanced CSF flow, which triggers neurochemical release, ultimately resulting in altered states of consciousness. The chakra system provides a comprehensive map of human consciousness and energy. These 7 primary energy centers are located along the central channel of the spine, each influencing distinct aspects of an individual's being, from physical vitality to spiritual awareness. They are considered vortexes of energy that originate from Brahman, the ultimate reality in Hinduism. The Kundalini energy, dormant at the Muladhara root chakra, is envisioned to rise through these centers, activating each one and progressively expanding consciousness until it merges with the infinite consciousness at the crown chakra. Each chakra, in essence, acts as a specific switch that, when activated, can indirectly stimulate corresponding areas within the brain, thereby unfolding various qualities and experiences. Practical approaches to harmonize CSF and chakra energy. To consciously engage with and optimize the synergistic relationship between CSF and chakra energy, several practical approaches can be integrated into one's spiritual and wellness routine. First, breathwork, pranayama. Deep, rhythmic breathing, particularly diaphragmatic breathing, like the kind I have shown you with the hand mudra, breathing into the lower abdomen, creates subtle pressure changes within the spinal column that actively help to pump CSF upward. Techniques such as alternate nostril breathing or slow, deliberate inhalations and exhalations can further enhance this vital fluid CSF flow. Spinal movements and posture. Maintaining proper posture, especially a straight spine during meditation or deep prayer, is fundamental as it allows for the unobstructed and free flow of energy and fluid throughout the body. Gentle spinal movements, including spinal stretches, cat-cow poses, and slow, circular pelvic tilts, can actively encourage the natural upward movement of CSF. Tools like the Roga roller can also be used to stimulate the sacral area and enhance spinal alignment, creating an open channel for CSF. Meditation and visualization. Focused visualization practices are powerful tools. Imagining a wave or stream of purple light flowing inward and upward from the base of the spine towards the crown of the head can amplify the CSF movement. This intentional focus on raising energy, akin to practices in Kundalini Yoga, symbolically guides the awakening process. Prolonged stillness and prayer. Sustained periods of stillness during prayer or meditation allow CSF to circulate more efficiently and reach the brain's higher centers, just as I have been encouraging everyone for the last 2.5 years with the channel, fostering deeper states of introspection and receptivity. The milk and honey metaphor, hormonal and spiritual alchemy. The metaphorical concept of milk and honey, frequently appearing in spiritual and biblical texts, extends beyond simple symbolism to represent a profound internal biochemical alchemy. This process enhanced by CSF movement and spiritual practices, facilitates the transition from ordinary to transcendent consciousness. Serotonin, the milk. This neurotransmitter is associated with feelings of happiness, contentment, and overall well-being. It is synthesized in the brainstem and transported to the pineal gland. Elevated serotonin levels, often achieved through practices like prayer meditation or deep breathing, create a state of peace and calm, which lays the groundwork for further hormonal transformations and deeper spiritual experiences. Serotonin is thus seen as the milk that nourishes the mind and spirit, fostering emotional balance and stability. Melatonin, the honey. Primarily produced in the pineal gland from serotonin, melatonin is crucial for regulating sleep-wake cycles and promoting restorative processes. During deep states of meditation or prayer, melatonin production increases, fostering stillness and clarity in the mind, which supports deeper spiritual experiences. Melatonin is symbolized as the honey that leads to restorative processes, paving the way for clarity, illumination, and spiritual connection. DMT, dimethyltryptamine. This powerful psychoactive compound is found in certain plants and produced in trace amounts in the human body. While its production in the pineal gland is still under scientific investigation, some theories suggest it might be produced or released during heightened states of consciousness. With my Adonesian framework, DMT is considered a key to transcendent experiences, which is practiced daily without the use of exogenous influences like plants to induce the endogenous DMT, bridging physical and spiritual awareness. And DMT is the ultimate illumination or inner light that fosters profound insight. This research suggests that spiritual practices are not merely mental exercises, but have a tangible impact on neurochemistry, leading to measurable shifts in perception and experience. The milk and honey metaphor, therefore, becomes a symbolic representation of this internal biochemical transformation that underpins spiritual enlightenment, providing a neurochemical basis for the profound, blissful states reported in spiritual traditions. The 13 new moons and chakra meditation. The cycle of the 13 new moons holds significant spiritual importance across various traditions, particularly for the Adonesian astronomical framework, symbolizing renewal, new beginnings, and opportunities for karma dissolution. For instance, the Anishina Abe calendar follows a 13-moon cycle, with each moon reflecting environmental changes and offering guidance for achieving the good life. In Hindu traditions, the 13th moon, known as Pradosham, is considered a potent time for dissolving negative karmic limitations and old patterns, specifically associated with the archetype Siva, who is believed to clear negativity. This period is seen as an awakening of consciousness, shifting focus from material comforts to a new reality. The new moon phase itself is universally recognized as a time for fresh starts, setting intentions, and cultivating potential for growth. It is considered a powerful time for reflection and recalibrating energies. Practical approaches to new moon meditation often involve intention setting, journaling, and affirmations to harness this transformative energy. During meditation, Individuals may focus on visualizing specific colors associated with chakras, such as a glowing orange light for the sacral chakra to stimulate vitality, or a green light for the heart chakra to promote love and compassion. Specific solfeggio frequencies, like 396 Hz for grounding the root chakra, or 963 Hz for mental clarity, are also utilized in new moon meditations to enhance their effects. The introspective nature of the new moon complements chakra healing by facilitating emotional release and fostering resilience. The lunar cycles provide a structured framework for energetic recalibration and deeper psychedelic exploration. The consistent emphasis on the new moon as a time for new beginnings, setting intentions, and renewal underscores its symbiotic relationship with the chakras and CSF development. The new moon is considered a conducive time for aligning and balancing the chakras, offering a powerful opportunity for spiritual growth and self realization. This indicates that the 13 new moons are not isolated events, but integral parts of a larger, structured lunar cycle that provides a precise energetic timetable for targeted chakra work, personal transformation, spiritual exploration with magic mushrooms, and journaling. This offers a practical, cyclical framework for individuals to engage with their energetic body and intentions, promoting a continuous process of self improvement and spiritual alignment. The 13 Sun Sign System, a cosmic blueprint for healing. The concept of a true scientific database 13 sun sign system, like the Adonisian system, invites a nuanced understanding of how scientific observation and esoteric systems interact. The scientific data validates the astronomical reality of Ophiuchus's presence along the ecliptic, which provides a factual basis for its inclusion in modern astrological systems. The power of following the 13 sign system lies in its specific spiritual and healing attributes, such as transformation, wisdom, resurrection, and a connection to miraculous self healing. As interpreted within this particular astrological framework, but applicable universally to all humans and specifically tailored for every individual. Astronomy provides the celestial map, and Adonisian astrology offers a symbolic language for understanding the human experience and potential within that cosmic context, allowing individuals to progress scientifically and measurably through their journey of self discovery and healing. The claim of a scientific, data based 13 sun sign system refers to the astronomical reality that the sun, from November 29 to December 18th, does pass through the constellation of Ophiuchus, which lies along the ecliptic, the sun's apparent path through the sky. Despite its retarded omission from mainstream astrology, Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer, carries significant spiritual meaning and healing attributes. It is associated with Asclepius, the Greek god of medicine, symbolizing knowledge, healing, and rebirth. Individuals identified with Ophiuchus are often described as intelligent, curious, charismatic, passionate, and determined, with a natural inclination towards healing professions like medicine, psychology, or therapy. The sign is linked to the transformation of knowledge, perspective, and consciousness. And in the Adonisian 13th sign astrology, rules the ninth palace of purpose, which is associated with the search for truth, higher knowledge, wisdom, and an individual's connections to higher powers. The serpent symbol, central to Ophiuchus, is itself also connected to Kundalini energy, representing a potent force for spiritual evolution. Part 9. Conclusion. Integrating the physical, esoteric, and cosmic for holistic well being. The exploration of cerebrospinal fluid, the sacred secretion, prana, the mental matrix, psychedelics, chakras, and lunar astrological influences reveals a deeply interconnected framework for understanding consciousness and healing. Cerebrospinal fluid, a vital physiological component, transcends its biological role to embody profound esoteric significance as the sacred oil or divine nectar, Amrita. Its movement is believed to be intricately linked to lunar cycles, which act as biospiritual triggers for the release of consciousness altering neurochemicals like serotonin, melatonin, and potentially DMT from the pineal gland. This fluid circulation is synergistically enhanced by prana, the universal life force, cultivated through practices such as pranayama and specific spinal movements. The chakra system, a map of energetic centers along the spine, which mirror the heavens, provides a structured pathway for this internal energy flow, with each chakra correlating to distinct psychological, emotional, and physical aspects, and influenced by planetary energies. The brain's inherent capacity for neuroplasticity and neurogenesis emerges as a crucial target for intervention against neurodegenerative diseases. While not a direct cure, interventions that promote these endogenous repair mechanisms and modulate the pathological environment offer a promising path forward. The compelling theoretical and indirect evidence supports the significant role of mind body interventions, including meditation and periods of silence, alongside established benefits of physical activity and dietary considerations. These lifestyle strategies can modulate the inflammatory and oxidative stress pathways implicated in CTE, foster a healthier brain environment, and promote brain resilience and functional improvement. The mental matrix is the fundamental framework of consciousness, capable of profound healing and transformation. This transformation involves actively engaging with and reconfiguring one's internal perceptual framework, a process that finds parallels in the scientific understanding of neuroplasticity. Psychedelics, from this perspective, can act as potent catalysts for mental and cerebral healing, potentially accelerating access to esoteric states and facilitating cognitive restructuring, though their use requires careful consideration and integration within a holistic framework. Furthermore, cosmic rhythms, particularly the 13 new moons and the astronomical reality of the 13th sun sign Ophiuchus, offer a precise energetic timetable for targeted chakra work and personal development, further highlighting a cosmic blueprint that emphasizes themes of healing, transformation, and wisdom within an astrologically broadened and modernized context. By integrating these diverse perspectives with the Adonisian framework, from the micro level of neurophysiology and endogenous chemistry to the macro level of lunar and stellar influences, individuals can cultivate a more profound and effective approach to mental, emotional, and physical healing. This holistic framework underscores the body's innate intelligence, its intrinsic connection to universal energies, and the transformative power of conscious awareness and intentional practice. It suggests that true well being arises from a harmonious alignment of these interconnected dimensions, offering a comprehensive path toward self realization and a deeper understanding of one's place within the cosmos. And until next time, trust and believe that it is okay to be you, the most beautiful you there ever was, there is, and that there ever will be. Because you are not a story that can be told twice, and there will never again be a stage for you to perform, but this one, right here, right now. So be you, the most beautiful you.